Morality Binds and Blinds. People often have the sense that the world's going to hell, and there are some indicators that have turned down. But as a social psychologist studying morality, I walk around the world in awe. I walk around New York in awe. People are so amazingly cooperative. People are so amazingly nice. And yeah, we've got all these partisan problems, polarization's going through the roof. How many people have been killed because of it? Very, very few, if any. So even when we have these really heartfelt, passionate hatreds, we don't get violent anymore. The trajectory of humankind is amazingly positive. And you know, when I was a kid, we all, oh, you know, you end every second or third grade essay with, and maybe this will end world poverty. Well, you know, guess what? World poverty is ending. I mean, it's not close now, but we're on the trajectory to end world poverty. And basically, it's capitalism that's doing it. When you get rid of, when you open up markets and you let people compete, and they work, that makes them work harder, they generate wealth. India, again, if I had PowerPoint, I'd show you the graph. Rising wealth from the year 0 to the year 1500. You can't detect any slope. It's $400 per capita all around the world. 1500, Europe begins to go up because they discover the New World, trade, all that stuff. And then you get to the 19th century, and it goes like this, up to 1950, and then it goes like this. Okay, so and that's what happened in the West. And India and China are just 40, 50 years behind. They're going to do that. If we do this graph again in 30 years, India and China are going to be right up there. So this is fantastic. The trajectory of the world is extremely, extremely good. Now, the way that we do this, the reason why we're like this, I'm so sorry. The reason why we're like this is because we have this amazing evolutionary history that allowed us to form teams that can cooperate in order to compete. We are tribal, and that is our curse. You couldn't have genocide and war without tribalism, but it's also our secret and our blessing. There would be no civilization if we weren't tribal. And so the point of this section of the book, Morality Binds and Blinds, is that the way we do it, or one of the techniques, is we have the psychology of sacredness. We can worship a rock or a tree or an ancestor, and then we circle around it. Usually you literally circle around it. It just feels like the right thing to do. And you'll see this in fraternity initiations. You see it at Burning Man. It just is, it's deep in our, it's almost a Jungian archetype. Worship something, you circle around it. And as you circle, you now trust each other and you can function as a unit. And political movements do this metaphorically. They don't literally circle around the Bible and the flag on the right, but metaphorically they circle on the Bible and the flag, and that helps them work as a team. And liberals tend to circle around Martin Luther King. You can have negative models, so they circle around racism and racists as they're sort of anti-sacred, you know, ultimately like they're devil. But if you circle around something, it's like you all are bowing down to it. And when you do this together in common, you actually, there are all kinds of mechanisms that involve synchrony even. So if you bow in common towards Mecca, you can work together better. You trust each other more. And so once you see this operating, once you see groups circling around their sacred values, what you'll also see is them going blind to anything that contradicts those values. So if you sacralize nature and the planet, you'll go blind to the fact that actually nuclear energy is probably a really good thing to have if you care about global warming. But sometimes the Greens, because they circle, you know, they've demonized nuclear power, so no, we can't have that. So Sweden and Germany are getting rid of their nuclear power, that sort of thing. A little dictum that I give, I think I have it, oh yeah, I have it on the sheet. Follow the sacredness, and around it you'll find a ring of motivated ignorance. If you know what a group holds sacred, you'll know where they're blind to reason.